This is Andrew Aversa with Impact Soundworks. Today, I'm going to show you a much-awaited plugin we've been working on for over a year, Peak Writer 2. This is an incredible tool for mixing, production, sound design, and creative effects, and it can now be used in virtually any host program. The core concept of Peak Writer is using the dynamics from a sidechain input to control the dynamics of the main input. Unlike sidechain compression, which just adjusts the signal downwards, this type of processing can do all sorts of interesting things with dynamics. Peak Writer 2 takes this concept and greatly improves it, adding new modes and tools for dynamic and frequency processing, even if you're not using an external sidechain. But enough tech, let's jump right in and cover 6 awesome things you can do with Peak Writer 2. This beautiful vocal track is very dynamic, and it's often dipping below the volume of the instrumental. It sounds good in some spots, but it's too quiet in others. With Peak Writer 2, you can now create a fixed sidechain signal, like a sine wave or pink noise, to create a target level for the track. Now, the vocal will either be boosted to match the target level or attenuated if it's too loud. And as you'll hear, the mix is now quite a bit more clear.
Trembling softly from the edges to the core, we emerge from a grave of churning seas, knowing nothing of the world that came before.
You can also adjust the range of the effect, which can give you more subtle or extreme results.
Trembling softly from the edges to the core, we emerge from a grave of churning seas, knowing nothing.
I'll say that in the many tracks that I've personally done with vocal mixing, I often have to use at least 2 compressors and a lot of vocal automation to achieve this same effect that Peak Writer 2 gives you in just a couple clicks. Here is a jazz snare track that's full of mic bleed, which is not great for mixing. Now, using the expand mode of Peak Writer 2, we can very accurately remove unwanted bleed from this track. By adjusting the decay time, we can give the snare hits a little more tail. Simple and super useful. A useful sound design application is saturating a clean signal or distorting it while preserving dynamics. So here is a clean but kind of dull saxophone phrase. With just a little bit of distortion added, it is certainly brighter, but all of the dynamics are completely gone. With Peak Writer 2 and the original clean signal as a sidechain, we can take that saturated signal and shape it, preserving both the dynamics and the new and rich harmonic content. Totally new in Peak Writer 2 is the EQ mode, and this is a fully featured, super precise parametric EQ that works great for all kinds of content. But more importantly, you can use it to make even drastic EQ changes while preserving the dynamics of a track. Here's a washed out kind of psychedelic guitar part with no EQ. And now let's hear Peak Writer 2 with some huge EQ sweeps going on, but the track volume is totally constant. To illustrate the EQ mode further, let's take some drum overheads that are just a little bit too muddy. With the mix knob all the way down, we can use Peak Rider 2 as a very surgical EQ, but there's no dynamic matching happening. This removes all the mud, but it also kind of kills the snare. So let's hear that same EQ setting, but just turn the mix knob all the way up, which will now preserve the dynamics of the original signal. And if we blend back and forth, you can hear what a difference that this makes. Peak Rider 2 is very effective at detecting and processing transients, making it an excellent transient designer too. Let's take a simple tabla loop that has a good amount of baked-in reverb. And now we can remove the reverb simply by using exact mode in a very tight envelope. Or push the envelope to exaggerate the reverb even further. Finally, using the expand mode, we can super clamp the transient sustains, no matter how drenched in reverb they are, leaving just an incredibly dry signal at the end. And so that's just a small sampling of what Peak Rider 2 can do. It's really more like 4 or 5 different plugins in one. It's got dynamics processing, EQ, it does transient design limiting, and at a list price of $99, I think it's a pretty fantastic value. If you already own the original Peak Rider, check your email for information on how to upgrade. Peak Rider 2 is available in VST 2 and 3 formats, 32 and 64-bit, Mac AU, Pro Tools AAX, and Windows Pro Tools RTAS. Also, you can download a free demo right now and try it for yourself at our website, impactsoundworks.com. This has been Andrew Aversa. I hope you enjoyed Peak Rider 2, and I'll see you in the next video.